person wants to dominate the other one.
Okay.
So if you ask what is the motivation for people, or what drives people into wanting to poke into other people's, what they may call private, this has to do quite often with suspicion.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, why do you want to do it? And quite often, you don't do it in his presence or her presence, but in her absence, or clandestinely, because you suspect something.
Yeah.
And basically, in any relationship, particularly marriage relationship, the confidence or mutual trust is built on communication. So where you don't communicate adequately, or there is misconception, or you are guessing about somebody's motives, you know what I mean? That my husband, for example, picked up the phone, but instead of talking openly here, he has gone outside to talk.
Yeah, because that could be suspicious.
That could make things suspicious. Instead of waiting, I'm just giving you an example. For the husband to be in the toilet or out, and then you start looking at, investigating what may be in the phone, why don't you ask?
Well, Dr. Sylvia,
and if you ask, no man,
who will give you that answer?
I'm coming. If you ask, some husbands may, or some wives may give you the correct answer. But some husbands may not, or some wives may not. So it's a question of mutual trust.
Yep.
But definitely, personally what I feel, and in research evidence has also shown, that every individual, even your child, has some degree of privacy.
That you should not.
That you don't want to disclose. Maybe at this moment. Maybe you'll disclose it later. But at this moment, you want to sit with it and digest it before you disclose it.
Yeah.
So therefore, we are all entitled to some degree of privacy. But as couples or partners in marriage, one would expect that certain basic issues that affect the family or your relationship should be shared. Because otherwise, there is mutual misunderstanding, suspicion builds up, and then people will be investigating. And where you look at any information negatively, I want to give an example. For example, a guy went home and saw the phone number of the husband's colleague, a colleague who is also married.
Yeah, but people can date their colleagues, right?
No, I mean who is also married.
Yeah, married women can date married men.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, this one I understand there was no romantic relations. So, but the wife was very suspicious, and she raised hell out of it. So what may have triggered that? Could it be that it's habitual of the husband, so the wife has no confidence in him? Or could it be that she's pathologically jealous?
Yeah.
Because some people are jealousy is given. I mean, it's normal.
But if a relationship...
Or has it to do with possessiveness?
If a relationship is based on trust.
Yes, mutual trust.
Mutual trust.
Mutual.
And I think people should not waste too much time into, digging into your partner's privacy.
It should, that to me, it's a bit immature and childish. That's what I think.
Yeah,
but of course,
just all
I'm just talking from a psychological perspective. But when it comes to the individual, people are different. Some people really, even if the husband sits at home every night or every time, they will still be jealous. So that's when pathologically it's in their blood. And that is not healthy. Because you go on imagining, you go on suspecting. I think in any real marriage, if you call it a true marriage, there should be healthy communication between the two people. Even between a child and a father, or a sister and a brother.
But personally, Dr. Sidibe, do you believe there should be privacy?
Yes, I believe there should be some degree of privacy.
Because some people would check your phone.
Which is personal to the person, and does not necessarily have to be a negative, behavior.
Yeah, but if you love someone, and you want to spend the rest of your life with them, and you have kids with that person, why should you hide anything from them?
Yes.
Why should you hide something?
Yes. Well, it depends on what you are hiding.
Yeah, but if you...
For example, you should not hide the economy, for example, because
the family income.
If you want your wife to appreciate, understand your economic status, or to support you, then I think it's appropriate that you tell her what your abilities are or your source of income is. so that she understands and she can maybe adjust her expenditure domestically. That, you know, in accordance with your income. You know what I mean? But when you hide, she may imagine that you have a lot of money, and yet you are hiding. So that's another thing. There are also instances where people have been, men, for example, have been very open or transparent with their income or, you know, financial status. And because they have, the wife starts saying, you have this much in the bank, so you can afford to give my brother, you can afford to give my brother 10,000 to you know, as a contribution to his naming ceremony. You see, my brother. So that is, to me, that is not fair.
But you know
But if she had not known that information, you know what I mean? If she had not had that information,
she would not know.
She would probably not have.
But you know what happened. You know what happened, Dr.
So this so it's case by case, actually.
But some people, most of the time, men, whatever they have, they would hide from their wives. Even the number of houses. Even some would take the papers of the house from the.
Do you have statistics on it?
No, I don't have statistics.
but
Dr. Silva, but you know it's happening.
All right.
You know it's happening.
So
they would hide
the
everything
paper.
from their family, their immediate family, their wife and kids.
Okay, let's be democratic here a little bit. You know, I'm very balanced. I'm objective.
Okay.
You have women, a scenario where women would be working. They'll be working and they'll maybe sometimes earning better than the husband. But they would not like to spend a butut on the
No, because the Qadi said here that Islam says even salt, even if your wife buys salt, you should refund her, you should give the money back.
But you know, this circumstances in this urban environment.
Yeah. But if you want to, you can support, but you
at
don't
the
have
same
to.
time, who's doing the domestic work? The husband hires a maid, for example. He pays for you doing your job. So I think
but the woman
can't be said, but I think we should be realistic.
Yeah, the woman will still oversee.
I think common sense also and reality also should come to play.
But now let us come into this part of.
So I'm just giving. So it could be on both sides.
So now let us come into the issue of mobile phones. It is very, very common now. Like wives would look into their husband's mobile phones, like all the phone calls that they make. And we have this belief that if for instance, they call one number 10 times a day, then you should know there's something going on with this number. And most women will pick that number out and call to find out who they are. Like I personally did that many times. Check into the phone at night and read all the text messages.
You are confessing.
Yeah, I did that before. You know, we all did that.
And what was the drive to do that? Jealousy?
Well, yeah, you know, you just want to know.
Is it jealousy?
Yes. Yeah. You just want to know what it is. So what is this person?
You know what we call that? No. Informational power. We'll come to that later.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, I try to do that. I check into the phone. I read all the text messages, and then at some point it did not make any sense to me, because each time you get something.
And the energy.
And then what did you get? Because some people would do this at night. Like I was doing it at night. You would run with the phone, go into one room and start searching, and you lose your sleep. Yeah, and then you would never stop this man.
Imagining.
You would never stop this man.
That's right.
And at some point, they will start deleting them. Then when they know you check into their phones, they come home, they will delete all the numbers, and then you check their numbers, you find out that the whole day they make 3 calls, and you know that does not make sense. Yeah. Other men would talk to a woman like Ramatullah and put Lamin Kamara or Lamin Fati on the phone. So now...
You seem to be very knowledgeable.
I know these things.
As if you've done research on this.
I know them.
No, when you are through, I will just give some general advice. The best way, because men also do similar things. I have had complaints from people in my clinic talking about their husbands.
Checking their phones.
Exactly what you are saying. In fact, they are saying that some people think it's more common amongst men doing it than the reverse. But that is very painful, and it takes a lot of energy and imagination. Because you go on imagining. You should imagine what type of job is the husband doing or is the wife doing.
Then this business will come again, and these night meetings. Now
sometimes it happens. The nature of the job and the people who are calling. Somebody calling 5-6 times a day, maybe a genuine sister or a cousin. It could be. It could also be a.
We look at duration of the call, like how many minutes.
Yes. Duration depends on what you are talking about. Anyway, since you have disclosures, I'll be very honest also to say that. The nature of my job, dealing with people who have